This is your sign to stop trading prop firms in 2026. Now, I'm a Forex trader who's been in the markets for over 7.5 years. And I can tell you this, when I first came around in the Forex industry, trading, the only way that you could trade yourself into financial freedom was trading a live account. As the years had progressed, prop firms came into the industry, and then it became the latest crack, you could say, in the market. Now, why am I saying this? Well, as a man who's previously had multiple payouts with funded accounts, as a man who's previously owned a prop firm account, a prop firm company, and successfully paid out multiple clients, dozens of clients, I can tell you that the business model from a prop firm owner is not to pay their clients. The business model, like any business, is to make money, unless it's a charity. So what happens is prop firms blur the lines between integrity and greed, because once they get big enough, once they make enough money, they decide to start doing things that they shouldn't do. We all know what happened to My Forex Funds. For those of you who don't know about My Forex Funds, they're a prop firm company that was pretty much investigated for over $300 million worth of fraud. Emails was leaked from their directors, the CEOs, saying slip them to hell. What did that mean? Well, that meant what they were saying was blow their accounts, okay? So they understood that, of course, if you blew someone's account, they was going to purchase another one. I'm also a victim of that, okay? Many years ago, I fell victim to spending thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds trading prop firm accounts, having live accounts, something crazy happening, me getting wicked out, and then me having to go again. And what actually kills you is the hope. That's what kills you guys. Now, with 7.5 years of experience in the game, I'm here to tell you guys, you don't need to trade a prop firm account in 2026. You actually don't. Okay. Once upon a time, the markets were very slow, or they weren't as frantic as what they are now. For instance, gold would move 100 pips across an hour. Now gold will move 100 pips across a 1 minute candle. So that says to you that there's more volatility in the market, there's more volume in the market, which means you can get the result quicker. Now, the reason why this video is important for me, because inside of the Liquidity Network, we have members who are now making life-changing money. It's simply put as that, okay? We've got members, like you can see up here, who started with £300 and have now gone up to as high as £17,000 in the space of 2 days just trading gold. And that's thanks to the Liquidity Network. The Liquidity Network is an organization formed with some of the best traders in the universe, providing you guys with market analysis, live educational Zoom calls, market breakdowns, live trades, and so much more value. Now, above all, the community helps everyone grow, and that's the reason why the Liquidity Network is the place for you. So if you're watching this video and you're not inside the community, click the link below and I'll see you guys on the other side. But what I do want to kind of express to you guys is when you're able to make £17,000 from as little as £300, this can really start to break down to those of you who are prop firm believers on how significant trading a live account can actually be. You've got some instances where you've got traders look at a $500 account against a $100,000 account, and they say, I'm going to go for the $100,000 account because once I pass the challenge, I'm going to get 70% of what I make. Now, this stat is real. 94% of traders never pass their funded account. Okay, 4% pass their funded account and get a payout. Only 2% successfully maintain their live accounts. So what does that say to you guys? That tells you that everyone can't be winning off of these funded accounts. Everyone can't be winning. It doesn't make any mathematical sense. The reason why there's a new prop firm every other day, because of these percentages that I just told you. They understand that there's a high majority of people failing, which means all they simply have to do is make a prop firm that's affordable, that's better than the last one in terms of the rules and conditions, and people are going to give it a try. So in 2026, we are seeing moves taking place that are giving parabolic shifts in terms of gold, silver, Bitcoin, and these things are the trades, or these currencies, these pairs, these instruments are the instruments that we focus on inside of the Liquidity Network. So without no further ado, I'm going to head over to the charts. I'm going to show you guys pretty much what members inside the community made so you guys can get an understanding. Okay, now what we can see here is gold had a high of $5,600 an ounce. Inside the community, I actually mentioned last week, okay, around the 21st, I mentioned that Goldman Sachs came out and they said, hey, look, we believe gold will reach $5,400 an ounce by the end of the year. This was the article that was released. Goldman Sachs raises year-end gold forecast to $5,400 an ounce. Now, we can see here gold, of course, went higher than their expectations, but it started to drop off. And what I covered on the live stream that we done on Thursday was pretty much answering the questions to what a lot of you probably didn't even know the answers to, or should I say I answered unanswered questions, which is what makes the markets move? Why would the markets accelerate? Why would the markets dump? And the reason why we saw this dump is because Donald Trump formally nominated Kevin Walsh as the next chairman of the Federal Reserve. Okay, for some time now, Jerome Powell has been the chairman of the Federal Reserve. And of course, it's common knowledge. Let's just say that it's common knowledge that, Jerome Powell and President Trump didn't really see eye to eye. Now, because he's replaced Jerome Powell, markets reacted very strongly to this news, starting late Thursday, going into Friday. That's why we started to see the sell-off. Now, who is Kevin Walsh? Well, Walsh is generally seen as a more policy tightening friendly and independent. Okay, he's more independent than some market players expected. So that reduces the odds of aggressive rate cuts that had been priced into the markets, especially after months of rallying gold on the back of inflation fears and weaker dollar expectations. We've all seen the dollar dropping, falling to hell. Okay, if we have a look at the dollar now, we can see the dollar has been falling off since the 20th of January. Okay, this is the 16th of January. We started to have a sell-off. Price came down to the lows. Now, of course, with this news, with there being a new chairman, it breeds more confidence. It breeds a change. And when there's a change, investors like that because it breeds optimism. As I said on the live stream, when there is uncertainty, the markets don't like this. The markets tend to sell off. When there's certainty, the markets regain its confidence. So that's why we saw the dollar jump up. So, this nomination boosted the United States dollar. And when the dollar strengthens, gold tends to weaken. That's not, it's not rocket science. Gold is XAUUSD. As mentioned previously, that obviously means that you're trading gold against the strength of the dollar. Now, this shift reversed the weak dollar into higher golds, okay? Because, of course, when the DXY is dropping off, gold is going to continue to make new highs. And that supported the prices. However, what I would say is the dollar hasn't really been correlating like for like with XAUUSD of late. So we're not going to look too much into what the DXY has been doing. But gold had just hit a fresh all-time high, and being near all-time highs this week after such a rally, investors were already sitting on large unrealized gains. So any decisive news like a Fed leadership change is going to trigger mass profit taking and stop loss cascades. If you think about it like this, guys, if you're in a trade and you're up £16,000, yeah, there has to come a moment where you decide to take your profit off the table. And that's simply what's happened here. Investors would, of course, be fearful of the fact that any slight change in political power could disrupt the markets, which would lead investors to sell off. Okay, it would lead them to close their positions. Now, silver and broader metals also sold off. So this is also something here to take into huge consideration. Whenever we see silver dropping lower, this is an indication that gold will follow it. So this wasn't just limited to gold. Silver plunged even more sharply, 20 to 30%. If we have a look here, we can see from this high to this low, it was a 39% drop, okay, which reinforces that the move was sentiment driven across metals. Now, whenever you see huge sell-offs like this, guys, it means that there's something that's happened in the market. So this goes back to me telling you why it's important to know more about what's happening in the world, because when you know about these things, you can make a better decision. Had any of you been reading into what's going to be happening throughout this week, you would know that because there's going to be a huge significant change in terms of power, this would reflect in the markets. It would reflect in the markets. So in simple terms, the gold plunge today was linked to the Trump news, okay? And markets reassessed future Fed policy. They got nervous about tighter monetary conditions and a stronger dollar. And that triggered a sharp sell-off in gold and other precious metals. That doesn't mean that now gold is over and the show is done, because of course when we have a look at what silver's done, it's played into an area where it could push up from. And even with gold, you know, we didn't quite reach the area down here, which is where I wanted the market to close by the end of this week. It didn't happen, so we need to of course have a look and see what happens going into the new week. But why was it so violent? Okay, a 12% plus move to the downside. That rally had been very extended. Okay, what does that mean? Well, that means there's been lots of leverage positioning going on here throughout the whole bullish time, the whole bullish move upwards. There's been a lot of people anticipating a huge sell-off. Whenever price is moving parabolically, which means just like up, like a rocket. Whenever price is going up like a rocket, it has to come down like a rocket. And of course, when the dollar had its strength, it accelerated the sell-off with gold. Now, if we go into the half an hour time frame, what we will see here, guys, is the sells that we caught. Okay, now we wanted some of the imbalance. Sorry, we wanted all of the imbalance to be filled, but for a lot of my students, you guys will know all of the imbalance doesn't have to be filled. So we didn't get that perfect execution at the top here. However, on the smaller time frames, we saw reasons to hold some sells. But going into Friday is when we was able, today we was able to sell off again. And, you know, this move alone was 3,800 pips. Now, it's no surprise that, you know, when you have a look at this sell trade here, selling gold, where was it? Where did it say here? Look, looking to sell when price reaches 5149. Okay, price didn't quite reach 5149. This was 5149. If I can just draw it out here so you guys can see it. 5149. Okay, 5149. We're talking pips away, guys. You know, it's not like we was that far, but that's where we wanted to enter, right there. And it didn't quite reach there, but it's still done enough for us to contemplate taking a sell, and of course riding this baby down. Now, you know, when price came down, it came down into an area which was a candle that we had marked out previously in the past, last week. Okay, and price didn't come back down to this area because it pushed away. But look, it took, you know, over a week. Okay, it took weeks for price to come back down. And when price eventually came back down, it came down and took out what we saw. It came down and took out what we saw take from the 21st of January to the 29th. So it took 8 days to push up, and it came down within 2. So that gives you guys a solid indication as to, even though you can make money quickly, you can lose it even quicker. Okay, so being patient is something that is very important. When we go over to the Discord, I want to show you guys the liquidity network. We can see here a member deposited £50 and he made 2,300. Okay, since the first signal today, still one small trade running. He made £2,300. Shout out to Monroe. First couple of trades was a winner. She made £108 profit, so she doubled her account. That is fantastic. JW made 2,289 from £1,000 investment. We can see here the brother Ali made 2,674. We can see here Jamal made 489. Connor said, be careful out again, guys. Slippery out there. Yeah, Friday 6,400. Connor's been on a phenomenal run. Now, I'm showing you guys these results just to understand the significance of why you should be using a real account against a prop firm account. Prop firm accounts are going to take you 20 plus days to get paid out, and then they're going to take 70% of your profit. When you trade a live account, you're going to lose. Okay, that is the game here in trading. Trading is about controlling your losses. So you are going to lose, but if you've got discipline, if you've got a risk strategy, if you've got a good risk management strategy, and you're in a good community, you should be winning more than you're losing. So when we're having a look at gold now, this buy honestly was too late in the day to call out. It'd been such a great week. I didn't want traders to get into the habit of over trading, so we didn't call it out. It was just a trade that was taken by myself, if I'm honest with you. But what we're looking at for the rest of the week, what we're looking at for the upcoming week is to see how gold can react. Now, look, guys, I'll be honest with you. This is the time right now this is the time in the universe where everything can line up for you if you lock in. If you lock in and sacrifice, go into that party, if you sacrifice, go into that holiday destination, right now gold is providing you with more pips than it's ever provided in a single lifetime. In a single lifetime. Gold would usually move gold could usually move 100 pips in, let's say, an hour. Yeah, in an hour, it could move 100 pips. If we go back to somewhere like, where is this? What is this? This is August 2025, okay? Look at these half an hour candles. Let's mark this one here. This one looks pretty big here, yeah? Look, that's 211 pips, okay? 211 pips on that candle there, yeah? That's in July, guys. In July, it took half an hour to move 211 pips, right? Now, if we have a look at what's happening in today's price action, well, what we're going to see is in today's price action, we can see that over a half hour candle, such as this one here, which looks, pretty similar to the one that we just saw a second ago, instead of it being 200 pips, that same size candle was now 530 pips, guys. When we look at these candles here off of a half an hour time frame, this candle up here is crazy. We're talking about a 4,000 pip drop. 4,000 pip drop. And then we're talking about a 3,400 pip increase. So we're seeing the markets fluctuating 4,000, back up 3,000, dropping another 2,000, retracing back up another 1,000, then dropping again another 3,000. We are seeing huge sell-offs. These are the times where it's convenient to be using a live account because you can use small lot sizes to grow your accounts. Before, you couldn't use a small lot size for it to make a huge significance. Don't get me wrong, you could still make money with gold, but you wasn't going to be making £2,000 with gold within the space of one day off of a 0.10 lot size. That just was never happening. So these are the prime opportunities now to be taking advantage of it. If you don't have any understanding when it comes to trading, then I suggest have a look at some of my videos on my YouTube channel. These videos are free. They're going to give you guys good nuggets. You don't have to be an expert in how to trade. You just have to be someone who's willing to learn. If you're open-minded, it's going to be the perfect time for you. Right now, prop firms, you will spend most of your time trading on a prop firm account, and you'll catch this whole move passing stage 1 and maybe having to wait for stage 2. But if you pass stage 2 with this, fantastic. But by the time now you've got the live account, you're eager to get into another trade. And what's happened now? The markets is closed. Come Monday, you're trying to repeat what you've been doing all week or what you've been doing for the past however long to pass the account. But now you're out of juice. But now mentally you're a bit drained. The best moves would have been the moves that we sent out, but those moves you took with the prop firm account. So now the moves that aren't looking as great, now those are the moves that you're trying to make things work. And unfortunately, it's not working. Don't get me wrong, like I said, some people, it does work when they're trading prop firms, but I need to talk about the majority. I'm not here to tell you guys like most traders on YouTube do. This is what they tell you on YouTube. Yeah, I got paid out on this one prop firm and then I buy another one and buy another one and I'm stacking. But no trader tells you about when prop firms fail them or when they fail their challenges. But they tell you about these payouts and then they're scavenging the internet looking for different prop firms, and then prop firms reach out to them and provide them with affiliate deals. So they're turning around telling you guys, oh yeah, this is what's happening with this prop firm. They're paying out. The prop firm's giving them an affiliate link, right? Alpha Capital Group approached me and said, hey, can you promote our prop firm for us? We'll give you a free 100K account. I said, yeah, sure. Give me the account. Once I get paid out, I'll tell my community it's safe to. They have me in a group chat with all these other IBs, all these other introducing brokers that want to promote this prop firm. And then they're paying people out. And then at one point, they weren't paying someone. In the group chat, they're saying, hey, what's going on, bro? Like, I've been waiting 6 days. Now they've changed it to this. Now they've changed it to that. And really, they have to pay these people because if we're the ones promoting the firm, then you've got to pay us. But to me, I saw a red flag, which was if they're struggling to pay someone in this group chat, what do you think they're doing to customers? And that's why I understood prop firms was no longer the way forward. Prop firms is equivalent to the crack epidemic back in the 60s or the 70s, whenever that came out. Because right now people think that if they expand their mind to, you know, $100,000 trading account or a $300,000 trading account, then they're thinking, wow, well, you know, if I make 10% in a month, that's 30K. Then I get 70% of that. Traders are thinking about things that's never happened. The best way for you guys to be making money is making your money in your own account. Doesn't matter if your account is small. Start small and compound high. Small results turn into big wins. Okay, if we look in the profit section, people are using small lot sizes, 0.25. Let's look over here. Pat, shout out Pat, 0.01. Okay, small lot sizes are compounding into big results. Look, 0.05, 0.10 is made £454, 0.20 is made £600. Small lot sizes are leading to big results, guys. It's all about the small lot sizes. Look, 0.06, £124. Look at this person here, 0.05, they made £1,700 from a £500 investment. So it's quite clear that small results are compounded into big numbers. So you don't have to be chasing the huge lot size trades. You just have to be in a community that can provide you with the right trades. Because if you don't have the right trades and you're losing every single trade you take, then of course it's not going to be an enjoyable experience. You're not going to like what you're doing, and you're just going to not see the value in trading. But right now, gold is acting like Bitcoin. Gold is going to make certain people in the markets who are able to financially capitalize on this rich. They're going to make them millionaires. They're going to make people retire. They're going to make people retire from their jobs early because they took advantages of these moves that are occurring in the market. You might have to skip work for a week. You might have to call in sick. You might have to get some time off of work just to really lock in because, hey, what other opportunities do you have in your life right now that's presenting these type of opportunities? If you've got some, then fair enough. But if you haven't, then you do need to lock in. So I'm not going to go on too long on this video, but I am going to tell you guys this week coming up, it's going to be an incredible week because we've got so much taking place with the Chairman Powell stepping down, a new Fed chairman in play. Donald Trump's got more say with this guy. So it's going to be very interesting. And you just have to be there. Honestly, guys, you couldn't make this up. You know, people are turning water into wine effectively. And I want you guys to be doing the same. So if you've managed to get this far in the video, look, one thing you could do for me that would help me is subscribe. If you haven't already, I really want to grow my channel to 10,000 subscribers this year. And to do that, it means I need to get busy. So I'm going to provide you guys with more market breakdowns. I'm going to provide you guys with more vlogs. We're going to have a great weekend this weekend. So that will be coming soon. And for any questions on maybe pairs you guys want me to cover or any questions you have for me based off of fundamentals, I'll be sure to answer them and cover them in the next video. You're here, you've been locked in with Vel. Don't forget to like, subscribe, you know the vibes. It's lit side.